Hi there, welcome to the latest edition of Chat Until the Chime. We're here with our friend and amazing yoga pod teacher, Jay Wiglesworth.
Jason, man.
Yeah, so glad to have you here. Thanks for joining us.
Jay.
Thank you very much, guys. Appreciate being here.
Yeah, thanks for giving us your time. So, Jay, we thought about this a lot, and we came to the conclusion that a really good question for you to share with the viewing audience is what or who has had the most significant impact on your life? How's that?
Well, that's a really great question, Jerry. Thank you for the platform.
It's not an easy one.
No, but it really feeds into my service for YogaPod and how inspired I feel about my life. So shortly after I finished the majority of my college education, I was introduced to a Bikram studio in Colorado Springs where I went to school. And as a freshly out of college person that didn't have a huge budget, but fell in love with the practice, they offered the 60-day challenge. And so for $60, I got to do 60 days of 90 minutes Bikram every day.
Oh, my goodness.
And you did it.
And I did it.
Wow.
And dedicating
Wow, I could never have done that.
the
No way.
life of a 20-year-old that's, working in kitchens and enjoying being social and doing all the things. I even had a trip home where I had to find a Bikram studio in Kansas City to make one of my days. I completed it and dedicating myself to that and what that inspires in a human being when you let your ego get out of the way and really just feel into showing up to a practice that's the same, even though you're not, and just letting it kind of distill those parts of the soul imprint that we carry that do thread through, that don't change. Like the unity consciousness type awareness. Yeah.
What was in that? 'Cause that sounds challenging in and of itself, but what did you find was the biggest challenge during that 60 days, every day, every 90 minutes? Did you ever try?
Honestly, it was getting there.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
It had nothing to do with the practice. Once the practice started, like it would just draw me to stillness and draw out whatever, was needing to be released. But it was weaving into the modern life of a 20-year-old working in kitchens, figuring out which time of day was going to work on any given day due to a really dynamic schedule of a young person like that. That was the most challenging part.
Yeah.
Was just coordinating, getting to the mat.
Well, and sometimes it's the most challenging part for any of us, just for any given reason, right?
Absolutely.
Let alone a 20-year-old who has other ideas and other, things you want to do with your life, right? Or that particular day.
Right.
That's really impressive. That's really cool that you dedicated yourself and you disciplined yourself that much to do that.
It is impressive.
Yeah.
How old were you? How old are you now?
I am 45.
Okay, so this was 25 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. Okay, so 25 years, and that was the inception of your practice.
So the inception of my practice was actually as a youth going out into nature and spending time by myself. I would put my body in these shapes that I didn't know were asanas at the time, but my body knew the alignment and my physical health wanted to, move through these shapes or hold them or, whatever was going on. And so once I connected with the practice of asana in college, I realized that all of these things that I'd already been doing instinctually had names and, an ancient tradition of health. And
that is it's fascinating that it just naturally happened for you, that you just felt inclined and inspired, knew your body in these shapes. And I'm sure breath work was part of this.
Absolutely. Yeah. Yeah.
Which is everything when yoga, of course.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I started doing a lot of different breath patterning and breath control as a young person, just because I was curious about the ways that it, added the ability to be more physical or more focused or, whatever it was. So there was just a lot of kind of scientific curiosity about like, how does this stuff work?
Mm-hmm. So you were doing all this stuff before you even knew what you were doing or why you were doing it or that it had a name.
Yes, before the why. Yes.
Before the why. Wow. And so that informed your path then forward as to where you are now and your lifestyle and you as a teacher, I would imagine, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
I love that you said that the practice is the same, referring to the hot sequence, I think.
Mhm.
Practice is the same, but I'm different. Expound on that. You said that earlier.
Sure. Especially as a 20-year-old human, when you really don't even know who you are,
Mm-hmm.
when you show up to a practice that's the same that it was the day before, but you've got whatever's happened in your life
Sure.
in the 15 to 20 some hours that have happened in between, you really get a good juxtaposition of the parts of your soul self that have stayed the same.
Right.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And you get a juxtaposition and comparatively can say, what is changing?
Mhm.
What is changing in my life?
Right.
And we know the practice is ever changing, not only the way we perceive it, but how it impacts us in our heart, in our spirit, in our body.
And I think
But,
especially as we get older, as we mature as humans, we appreciate things differently, a little bit more and in different ways,
Yeah.
So, yeah, I'm sure you feel differently in your practice now than you did when you were 20, when you took that first speaking class.
Very, very much so.
You approach it differently, I'm sure.
We
Yeah.
sure do. Well,
But
I heard
in some ways the same, because you want that curiosity
Mhm.
of letting things that could be new about something old affect you.
Yeah. Approaching it with a new mind. Yeah.
Yeah, the beginner's mind,
Beginner's
the curiosity lens,
Yeah.
whatever language you want to use.
You're so well spoken, really, truly, very articulate, and it's kind of riveting. It's really awesome, bro. I heard the chime, and this guy's got to go teach a class, so we're gonna wrap this one up. But Jay, love it. We really talked to you all day. You're amazing.
Thank you so much,
If
y'all.
you haven't
Thanks
checked
for
out his
taking
classes,
time.
please do it. He's
He
an
teaches
incredible
hot,
teacher.
and
Binion,
Binion.
yep.
Yeah.
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 All
Find me
right.
on the schedule.
Yeah.
So that's a wrap for this edition of Chat Till the Chime. Until next time, namaste.
Thanks, everybody. Bye.
Love you, fam.